The Battle of Anzio. The history of the Allies' controversial amphibious landing during the Italian campaign of World War II. Written by Charles River Editors. Narrated by Daniel Houle. Introduction. Germany's North African defeat opened up the possibility of taking the war in the West to the European continent for the first time since France's lightning conquest by the Wehrmacht in 1940. The British and Americans debated the merits of landing in France directly in 1943, but they ultimately opted against it. The Soviets railed at the Westerners as bastards of allies, conveniently forgetting that they aided and abetted Hitler's violent expansionism in Eastern Europe for over a year, starting in 1939. But a 1943 D-Day-style landing in France might have proven a strategic and logistical impossibility. Complex reasons lay behind England's successful insistence on the Mediterranean theater rather than the French theater as the scene of the next Western Allied strike against Nazi Germany. Chief among these remained Britain's determination to keep a post-war empire, one that Churchill and his cabinet hoped would include Iraq and Iran, the source of oil needed to ensure that England continued to rule the waves with a powerful modern navy. This strategic imperative, indeed, formed the backbone of the British choice of Sicily as the target for military operations in the summer of 1943. Another major factor lay in Britain's deep, and, in the event, justified, distrust of the Soviets, and the perspicacious English assumption that the USSR would attempt to build a totalitarian empire in Eastern Europe following the war. Churchill and his generals hoped to engage in peripheral warfare with the Third Reich, defeating Germany in outlying territories until the Germans ousted Hitler and came to terms. The English leadership envisioned forming a quasi-alliance with the resultant German state to push the Soviets out of Eastern Europe and prevent an Iron Curtain scenario. The British also possessed intelligence, gathered from their ultra-penetration of German codes, which, as they believed, revealed Hitler's intention to abandon Italy and retreat to the Northern Alps to form a defensive line should Sicily fall and Anglo-American forces reach the shores of the peninsula itself. While correct at the time, the analysis failed to consider that Hitler's strategy naturally changed as circumstances themselves shifted. The rugged island of Sicily, dominated in the east by the snow-crowned...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?